Good news. Good news. Now that's some good news.
Welcome to another episode of Now That's Good News with Calvin Worthen. In this episode, I sit down with Vance Webster, the man behind the story in the book, 29 Years for 13 Seconds. Let's listen in. 29 Years for 13 Seconds. This is it's a pretty powerful story. Where did that phrase come from, 29 for 13?
Well, all during my trial, I was facing life, and so the DA kept saying that it took 13 seconds for me to pick up those two guys that day.
Uh-huh.
And he kept echoing that all through the trial.
Wow.
13 seconds, 13 seconds. And I couldn't imagine 13 seconds is about to cost me my life.
Man.
And
I think what you have here is a story that touches me in so many different ways. So as a young black man, the conversations that we would have in high school would be surrounded by things like this. Man, if I ever go to jail, I'm gonna.
yeah.
And whatever that is, protect yourself, protect your butt, join whatever game,
Right.
Hide in the corner, just don't say nothing to nobody. Whatever your thing is, you finish that sentence up. And that was an actual conversation that young black men still probably have today and had on a regular basis, always just switching up the game if they get caught doing something, even if they weren't doing anything wrong. We had a preparation
Right.
for entry into this institution. I talked about that more than I talked about going to college.
Right. Because it's our reality, you know. And I knew eventually, because of my lifestyle and the lifestyle I was choosing to live, that, it was a strong possibility that either death was going to get me or a prison was going to get me.
Yeah.
Because when you're surrounded and drowned in hopelessness, and that's all you see, and that's all, when you're around the fellas, it's garbage in, garbage out. It's nobody going nowhere because nobody's talking about going nowhere. You feel trapped.
I want to believe that there's nobody responsible for my situation. I want to accept that I made choices to be in the place that I am today.
Right.
But there's a part of me that knows I wasn't given the full opportunity of choices.
Right.
Out of the choices I was given, I end up choosing, and I'm here now. But if I had the plethora of opportunities that some other people get, I know I could be in a different place. You could be in a different place. You could be doing whatever because of our restriction in this country, this marginalization that happens with us. How do you reconcile with the prison and the justice system? Like, what's your method of reconciliation? Because I'm telling you, I ain't been in the prison, and I still don't like them. I don't like the prison. I don't like the cops. I don't like the system. Like, how do you reconcile? How did you reconcile this relationship with your justice, your government, your country?
Well, it was hard, and because you, and I hate to keep saying it over and over and echoing this, but being black is like, man, we have to be able to overcome all these different obstacles, and this is why we hate it, but we admire it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because of the tenacity, the strength. I'm saying from the slave ships on up, we managed to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to be one of those, And I just feel as though I came from that long line of warriors.
Yeah.
Not soldiers. I always tell Alexis, I'm not a soldier, I'm a warrior.
Definitely.
And it's a big difference when you say it. And I was just one of the words that refused to give up. But at the same time, I knew I had to find some sort of peace within because I hated the system and what it's done, not to only me, but there's so many millions of other brothers that was locked up in prison. And one of the things I like to tell Alexis is that I told Alexis a long time ago was that, it's good people. I never met a bad guy in prison. Everybody in there was good people.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are good kids because in there we all talk about what we want it to be, the childhood dream that nobody ever talked about. Oh, I woke up on one side to go kill this person and go spend the rest of my life in prison. That's not how it happens.
Yeah.
There are circumstances beyond, as you just mentioned, beyond us.
Yeah.
I'm too want to believe that, no, I'm here because of my own decisions.
Yeah.
But I have to be mindful that, no, there was mechanism already in place, that set this standard long before. And they had a thing during the Reagan era that we're going to clean up the streets of South Central to get rid of all the gangs.
Yeah.
And the thing was, we didn't care how we did it.
Uh,
They didn't care. And so who gave a damn about a young black man,
nobody.
going to jail? And they thought, oh, well, he need to be in there. Let him
Yeah.
stay in there and rot.
Yeah.
But and you get in there, it doesn't stop.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it took a long time for me to just, to get over it. And I remember Homeboys Industries, Father Gregnum sent me to the police academy to speak. I said, "What, were you sending me to go speak?" He said, "To the police." I said, "I'm not going to the police
You
academy
want to go speak
He
to
said, no. And so he said, "Son, you have to go." I said, "No, I don't.
Yeah.
This is a job. I can
Yeah.
say no or yes,
Yeah.
and I can choose to leave."
Yeah.
But I ended up going. And when I went there, it was about 400 police in audience.
Oh man.
And one thing I got up on stage and I said, I never in a million years thought that I would be on stage talking to a bunch of cops about my life story.
Yeah.
I said, so before this meeting starts, put your walkie-talkies up, your recording device, because I'm not going to admit to any crimes.
Exactly. That's good. That's
You
a good opening.
Right. You won't see me on 48 hours off of this.
Exactly.
I won't make 48 hours off
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah.
I'll make the Jim Baker show.
There you go. So, what was their response? Like,
They laughed and all this
laughed.
stuff. But
Yeah.
one thing that I loved about it was when I was through sharing my story, I had an officer come up to me.
Mhm.
And this was an Hispanic officer. And he broke down and he cried. And he said, I have to be real with you. He said, I hated people that look like you.
Mm.
And I said, black people? He said, no, gang members.
Mm.
You could be Mexican or black. He said, I just hated the sight of you guys. And he said, but I want to thank you today. And I said, well, why? He said, because you put a human face
Mm.
on the gang members.
You brought humanity.
You brought humanity. You brought humility, and you showed them as human beings.
That's the most powerful thing I've heard in about a good year.
Yeah.
The humanity of humans
Right,
being revealed to the authorities,
right,
who have to act like we are non-human. They have to see us as a bug,
right.
as a pest. They have to have that interpretation.
Mhm.
And it takes some real healing and some real reflection for them to go, wait a minute, this is a human being. So from my research, because I was not necessarily a gang member,
Mhm.
I had two brothers who were in opposite gangs,
Mhm.
one from the Midwest.
Mhm.
And I just knew about those two sections, those areas.
Mhm.
And just learning it through research about the Crips and the Bloods, and even the things that started them. I think I saw a documentary where the Bloods were usually, they kind of started off listening to some of Dr. Karanga's rhetoric and really talking about being blood, to each other, and being a family. And then the Crips came out of like a community response. What was the thing that changed from being a socially conscious, powerful group of black men to being a crime-driven group of black men?
I think the influence. We never labeled ourselves as a gang.
Okay.
We have to remember that first. We never labeled ourselves as a gang.
The label was given.
Right. The label was given to us. We was just now coming out the Black Panther era. Okay. And the Crips were the first one to come out.
Okay.
With Raymond Washington, who was the founder of the Crips, who came from Chicago and
Okay.
introduced this. But it was seen as community revolutionary response team.
Yeah.
And so it had nothing to do with us tearing down our community.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was those that be in power that seen black men together taking a stand and said, no, we're not accepting this no more. They say, oh, now they're a gang.
Mm.
They're a terrorist group. Anything that opposes the system, anything don't walk or talk like they set standards for is an opposite threat, and they will label you in a minute as a gang. When we started our gang, it was just 12 friends.
Yeah.
12 friends. We were all in elementary school in the 6th grade.
Wow.
Okay. And we're having a discussion not about hurting other black members, but about protecting our gang, our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And this is what we didn't call ourselves a gang.
Yeah.
We was following. We want to be a Crips because this is what they. When we seen the Crips walking down the street, they seen the elderly people. They pulled their pants up, put the cigarette up. He had to look, ma'am, you need some help, Miss such carrying your bags down the street. This what drew me.
That's what's up.
All
That's
this
what's
other
up.
stuff they put into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they helped manipulate that because it was easy for us to be. It was easy for. Just think if the manipulation when it came in terms of us start killing each other, just think how powerful it would be on a positive tip today.
Yeah.
But like I say, powers beyond that did that.
That would probably be an established Democratic Party,
Right.
or we would have a party
Right.
out of these two ideals. We'd have some nation talk. We probably would be, gathering up ideas and resources
Right.
on, hey, we need to do our own thing.
Right.
And this country's not going to do us right. We need to do our own thing. But I definitely feel like there was some strategic
Right.
plans in action to keep us from that.
And the officers used to come to our neighborhoods. This is what the officers, and you tell people, oh, no, the officers didn't do that. No, you used to come to our neighborhood, pick one of us up, take us over to another neighborhood and drop us off and say, oh, yeah, he's from over there, guys.
Oh, man.
And so when they beat you up and you come back, oh, no, they jumped on you, what you do? You're not mad at the police for dropping them off. You're mad at the guys over there
That far.
that jumped on them. So what you do, you get your group of guys,
Yeah.
and you go back over and you start shooting them up,
Mm.
and it just continues. But nobody talks about the involvement of the police
Police and all
department
of it.
and how they used to instigate this. They one day came and told us, it was about 40 of us hanging out one day, and they came and pulled up on us and said, yeah, we just stopped the Bloods down there. And guess what we got from them? Opened the back door and said, get that trash up out the back seat. 8 rifles.
And they gave them to you.
Gave it to us. And so the guys right down the
Ouch.
street, guys. So you tell me. But when you tell people, oh, no, I don't believe that. I say, it's a lot of things you would never believe. But try being black.
Yeah, I
Right.
definitely feel like a lot of our gang and organization, it was that tribal side of us that needed something in
Right.
this country to identify with. We needed some sort of connection, and then they infiltrated and hurt us with it.
Right.
That's
Because who's going to stop the clans from coming down to your hood?
the clans.
You never talk about,
Yeah.
they was the first gangsters.
They're the first gangsters, and America still approves of them.
Right, and the way you didn't shut them down the way you shut down the Black Panther Party, but
not
you
at
shut
all.
them completely, you allowed them to roam free
Yeah,
in
yeah.
uniform.
in uniform, and
So-
practice their philosophy and beliefs still publicly.
And if you ever seen Straight Outta Compton, when it comes on, and they got all them guys, that when it first come on, they got Ice Cube coming out the house, and they put all of them on the police car and slam on the police car and all that.
Yeah,
And that happened all the time,
that was just every day.
everyday thing. They'll call you every end in the book and tell you that this their hood and that's their gang and we LAPD gang and this and that, and so
Wow.
you like wow.
They
So
turned into their own gang.
They turn into their own gang.
No wonder they treat us the way they do.
Right.
They have that mentality. My last question for you: what is the song that got you through? Like, what was the piece of music, the vibration, the poem, the thing? I mean, that's a long time you spent
Right.
in solitary confinement.
Yes.
During this 29 years, you spent 12
12 years, 3 months.
and 3 months in solitary confinement.
Yes.
I could not imagine doing anything but push-ups and sit-ups and jumping jacks and probably talking to the walls and like having full-on conversations with people who are not. I already know. I said, it's crazy. I have a plan for this this peaceful place. I don't ever want to go though. But like, what was it that? What did you use? What was?
Well, I read a lot. I really focused on what Malcolm did, and I thought what Malcolm did was so extraordinary.
The dictionary.
Right, and with George Jackson, he was another comrade in the prison system early in the days called the Soledad Brothers. You can go online and check it out. But I was so amazed at what those guys did being in solitary confinement.
Wow.
When you hear the echoes and the cries at night of men hollering, screaming, and you wake up in the morning, you found out that they carrying his dead body down the tier because he
man.
couldn't take it no more. I didn't want that to be an option, so I just studied the dictionary. But the songs that used to get me through it, I heard the song once, and it was 2 songs that it just got me, tore me apart. And one was by Donnie McClurkin, We Fall Down. And the other one was by Marvin Sapp.
Never could have made it.
Never could have made it,
Yeah.
man. And I heard that song, and I remember crying, and I said, oh, wow. It was just like that footprint in the sand poem I found. Never
Yeah.
heard,
Yeah.
never in my life have I even,
Until then.
until then, and at like, whoa.
So the bulk of the book, 29 years for 13 seconds, the bulk of it is about what? Is it about the prison stint? Is it a collective of all of your stories? Is it about after prison?
It's a collection, a little bit of everything from me as a childhood, religion, sex, woman, what I went through in there. It's just a collaboration of every single thing I went through, a collection of everything I had gone through from the time. Actually, I was 12 when everything kicked off. That's when the life changed.
Okay.
All the way on up until where I'm at in my life today.
This has been another episode of Now That's Good News with Calvin Worthen. For information on how to get this book, 29 Years for 13 Seconds, go to unshackledpublishing.com. There's a link in the description below.